Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, and this is your match reaction and player ratings. Liverpool 3, Benfica 3. Liverpool going through 6-4 on aggregate into the semi-final, where they will face Unai Emery's Villarreal. Where do we begin with this? Let's go right back to the beginning. What a lineup. I'm sure Reds fans, when they're in the stadium when the lineup was announced, were thinking, good Lord, what's this about? Three front players in Diaz, Jota and Firmino, who I don't think have ever played together in a competitive game. And that midfield, Milner, Hendo and Keita. Please, good Lord. I love yous all. I love every Liverpool player. But this lineup is a lineup that should never see the light of day again. I don't even know where we begin. I mean, it's safe to say at 3-1, we were, reasonably comfortable and felt we were through. But again, I mentioned in the preview, if you look what happened last night with Real and Chelsea, anything can happen in these games. And if you disrespect these teams, you're taking a real chance in terms of what might happen. But we do get a decisive goal on 21 minutes. Kanate comes up and scores a beautiful header, left in the box on his own. The guy's an absolute monster, and Benfica didn't know how to deal with him. On 32 minutes, Benfica equalised. Ramos, lovely goal. Then Firmino scores 2 on 55 and 65 to put a bit of gloss in it, to make it 3-1 or 6-2 on aggregate. And then we just switch off. The complacency and the nonchalant passing, and if there was ever an advertisement for Darwin Núñez, I know Chelsea and Man United are very interested in, plus another number of clubs in Europe and in England, I would imagine. Price tag for me is a bit hefty, but if there was ever an advertisement for this guy, tonight was that night. He did himself plenty of favours tonight and put himself in the shop window. And the talk this week that he's appointed a new agent at the start of this week as well is decisive as well, which means he obviously wants someone in there to get working on it. But we kind of let them back into the game. And again, I know the gap was 2 goals and it was still kind of comfortable. It wasn't quite squeaky bum or anything like that. But so lethargic, and so like Salah comes on and it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just pop the ball around, and even that effort he had towards the end where he curled it off the left-hand side of the goal and stuff like that. The Salah before Christmas would be burying that. And there's just a complacency and it's not even an arrogance. I don't know how to describe it in our play at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, you've just lads playing the balls in and picking the wrong passes and stuff like that. And the passes coming out of the back into midfield, playing into tight situations where, nearly like hospital passes where, you're not really giving your midfielder a chance. You've got Milner and Hendo in there in midfield. It's just, I don't know whether you want to be making those amount of changes. We've got a big game coming up on Saturday against Man City. And I can tell you now, if we rock up with that laid back attitude, you know what I mean, and that kind of sloppiness in our game, really, Man City will take us apart. They'll absolutely take us apart. And whatever hopes we had as a fan base in terms of this quadruple, whatever it's going to come out to be, will be well gone at that stage. Because, and Man City had a tough game tonight. They went through a tough game against Atletico. I think they nearly played 100 minutes. It was 11 minutes of added on time. And it was a dirty game by all accounts. I didn't watch it, but they're through anyway to face Real. But we should be more professional in the way we go about our work with these guys. You know what I mean? We should go out there, after half an hour, this toy should be done. We shouldn't be making Darwin Núñez look like prime Lewandowski or prime Messi. You know what I mean? We should be better than that. We should be a level above that. We should be more professional. And it wasn't dissimilar to the first leg where we absolutely dominated the first half. And then in the second half, we just let them back in, make them look good with our sloppy play. And I just felt we have to be better than that. We have to be clever than that. Look, I know people come on here on, onto the comments and all, and they'll beat me up and say, oh, but we're through. We got through 6-4 and all. You know what I mean? But that performance tonight, that ain't going to take care of Villarreal and Unai Emery's tactics. And we need to be really aware of that. I think, I understand he wanted to rest players. We've obviously got big games: Saturday, City; Tuesday, Man United in the league. These are big, big games. This is a massive 2 weeks for us coming up. Everton in the Merseyside derby and so forth. And, game after game after game. These are all cup finals. And this is what happens when you're successful and you're fighting for 4 trophies. And every game is a huge game. Every game is a decisive game. Every game feels like it gets you to the next stage and the next level of what you want to do. And I get that. And I get that you have to rotate a certain amount. But that level of rotation is uncalled for. And, it causes us then having to bring on the likes of, bringing on the likes of Mo Salah, bringing on the likes of Fabinho, bringing on the likes of Thiago, Sadio Mane. I know Devo came on at the end. It was great to see him, obviously, with the news from the AC Milan side of things. But you know what I mean? Should we really need to take this amount of changes? Why don't we just put out a solid lineup, go about our business, put these guys to the sword, not make it that there's a little bit of anxiety there? You know what I mean? Like, you look at Alisson Becker. There's Alisson Becker, 3 goals shipped tonight. Made a fantastic save there, I think, in around the 80th minute or something like that. Sneaky shot, I think, from Nunes, and just was going to creep in, and he saved it. Absolutely brilliant save. But that's not the kind of preparation, is it, that we want for Alisson Becker, who's going into a massive FA Cup semi-final in Wembley on Saturday against Man City. Picking the ball out of the net, flying out of his goal, players going around him, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's not Alisson Becker, and that shouldn't be the case. And I think every game that we play, although we have to stick game by game and we have to be in the moment, we have to be conscious that, like, because we really have no time to train, it's game after game after game and recovery after recovery after recovery. So you're bringing the form along with you as you go along. And I just think, to make that many changes, I think is somewhat disrespectful to Benfica in terms of them in the, quarterfinal of a Champions League. And remember, these are the boys who travelled to Ajax and they knocked Ajax out in Amsterdam. So these aren't pushovers, you know what I mean? And, 3-1 is an iffy enough scoreline. And certainly when we start letting them score, and again, I know you're going to say 6-4, we ran out. What do you want, Niall? I tell you what I want. I want us to be a little bit more professional in our approach, in the terms and the way that we go about doing things. While being conscious that players need a bit of a rest. I get that. But you're not really giving players a rest, are you? If you go out there with a depleted lineup like that, and then you kind of panic a little bit when they score a few goals. So you flush the big man off the bench. Where's the rest in that? These guys gone into battle again tonight for 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was. So they've had to go out there and shore things up a little bit. But I just think we need to be more. That final third as well, at times it's starting to bug me, because we just aren't clinical enough. Like you're seeing some of the opportunities tonight, the ball flapping around and, trying to do, like, instead of just doing the basic stuff and scoring the goals, intricate little passes, trying to play each other in and try to be clever and stuff like that. Just put the ball in the back of the net. You know what I mean? Let's stop messing around here. Like, we're in the business end of the season here. We're in line to try and win a quadruple. We're in the semi-final of an FA Cup, semi-final of a Champions League, and 1 point off the title race. You know what I mean? This is not the time to be messing around and, trying to do stupid things that we don't do as a club. We're much better than that, you know what I mean? And I think that's the way we need to present ourselves. With that in mind, I suppose, let's get on to the ratings, because I just think, we just really need to look at these ratings and see what we think. Alisson Becker, I see he's getting a number of 5s around the place, which I think is quite harsh, although he did pick the ball out of his net 3 times. I'm going to give him a 6, because I think that save at the end was pivotal, because I think if that had crept in at the near post, I think it could have been a very different game and a very nervous ending if I had gotten to within a goal. So I'll give him a 6. But again, this flying out of the goal and not getting there and balls being played around you and stuff like that's very unlike Alisson Becker and very unlike our backline. Joe Gomez, I gave Joe a 7. I think at times he linked up well. I think he was a regular threat down the right. But again, I just, it's so hard to do ratings on this and everything and all, you know what I mean? Konate, I gave an 8 to. Think he did really well at the back. Took his goal very, very well. No less than what we'd expect off set pieces from Konate. The guy is a monster of a man. Should be getting on the end of everything for these corners and stuff like that. And scored in the previous leg of this tie. So I gave him an 8. That's all we can really say on him. Joe Matip gave a 6 too. Few nice moments, but a lot of shaky stuff as well. I think that kind of that bond between him and Gomez is kind of, I don't know, at times it can just feel a little bit disjointed where they're kind of both going forward or one of them is going forward or the other, but they don't seem at times sometimes to be on the same wavelength. So I gave Joel a 6. Costas I gave an 8 too. He just works tirelessly. His link-up play is really, really good. His final ball into the box and stuff like that is absolutely exquisite at times. And like, how can you not like him? He's just fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? He's just a great all-round player. And you never see anything out of him. Like, he knows he's like number 2 to Robbo. And like, he doesn't have a problem with that. He's delighted to be at Liverpool. He knows he's a squad player and he plays that way, but he can come in and do that job when Robbo's not in there. It's not a problem to him. I never have a worry when I feel Costas is coming into the side. It's never a problem. Let's get on to the midfield. Jordan Henderson, I gave a 6 too. Again, another tough night at the office for Jordan Henderson. I don't know what's going on there, but he just seems to be, I don't know whether it's the length of the season. I don't know whether it's fatigue. I don't know whether it's the pressure of a quadruple and carrying the weight of all this expectation. But he seems to be really struggling with his game. You know what I mean? And that's against a Benfica midfield where Jordan Henderson should just grab control of that ball, take control of the game. But struggled, At times used his experience to calm things down. But, I mean, he should be controlling the game. Everything should be going through him, Naby Keita, I gave a 6 too. Plenty of energy in midfield and stuff like that. But at times just drops off a little bit, And he was caught in the wrong position for the Ramos goal. So, but I mean, I just think with Naby as well, he kind of drifts in and out of games a little bit. You don't get that consistent play with him. Like, with a Fabinho, Fabinho's in the game. You get 90 minutes out of him. I know he had not a great showing against City at the weekend, but in general, Fabinho, for me, is generally an 8 out of 10. But he's always in the game. He's always switched on. He's always there. With Keita, at times, he can be very good for 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, you forget he's even there. He's even playing, So 6 out of 10. James Milner, gave him a 5 out of 10 tonight. I just think with James, it's sad to say, like, he's been absolutely brilliant and I love James Milner, but I think his time has come. I think he was off it tonight. Couldn't keep up with Benfica's energy. And I just think Jimmy's time has come. As sad as that sounds. Luis Diaz, let's move into the forward line. Luis Diaz, I gave a 7 to. And again, this is very hard to judge because I know these guys train together and all, but there's nothing like playing in an actual physical match. And I can't recall where these 3 boys have played together up front. And it's a weird combination as well in terms of the synergy of the 3 as well, because you've got Luis Diaz, who's like power and pace and energy. You've got Diogo Jota, which is kind of niggly and, poachery kind of in around the box and stuff like that. And then you've Roberto Firmino, who likes to drop deep and make things happen and come and make deep runs and stuff like that, and a little bit of trickery and skill. So you couldn't have 3 very different players. Whereas if you look at sort of like if you play with Mane, Salah, and Firmino, you've got Firmino pulling the strings, and Mane and Salah are pretty much very alike. So there's a synergy there. And I think if Mane goes into the middle and you have Diaz out there, again, you have the power and the pace at times of Diaz and Salah, and then you have the strength and the trickery of Mane in there. But with these three, it's three very different players. But in terms of ratings, Luis Diaz, I gave a 7 to. Always brings the energy, always trying to create something, a constant threat, relishes playing against old rivals, especially out of the Portuguese league. But not only that, I think he just loves his football, and it's always just a smile on his face. Just wants to get the job done. Bobby, I gave a 7 to. I know he scored 2 goals, but a couple of poor decisions in the first half. But 2 good goals after the break. So I give him a 7. Probably give him an 8. But nice to see Bobby back playing, and also nice to see him back scoring. Because this is something that's been questionable and hanging over him as part of his career at Liverpool. From that position, does he score enough goals? We'll be seeing tonight he can potentially score those goals. So it could be really important in the run until the end of the season, and great to have those options there. Jota, I gave a 7 to. Was looking for the ball at his feet all the time, and it wasn't always happening and stuff like that. Continued to be a pest and stuff like that. And his final touch for the assist on Firmino, I thought was good. He was a real threat at times and stuff like that. And we know what we're getting with Diogo Jota. He's been excellent all season. Proper poacher. But I'm not sure if that dynamic of Diaz, Firmino, and Jota set you up for a poaching kind of way, as opposed to the opposite, which is creating and stuff like that. Substitutes came on. Mo Salah, gave him a 7. I mean, could have given him a 6. I mean, he just the fact that it's Mo Salah coming on, he creates that aura about him that concerns teams when he comes on and stuff like that. But again, he's just way off it. He's just way off the Mo Salah pre-AFCON. And we need to try and find that form really quickly, because if we're going to really do well in this and try and win it, and the FA Cup, and potentially claw back the league a bit off Man City, we're going to need that pre-Christmas Mo Salah, who's absolutely banging in goals left, right and centre. He is absolutely flattering to deceive. His touch at times is very strange, and he just seems off it. Thiago came on for Milner, gave Thiago a 6. Again, coming on, had a shot flashed over, a couple of nice passes and stuff like that, and began, but still struggled to control that midfield. You know what I mean? And this is we're talking about, we're taking off Milner, we're taking off Henderson, we're bringing on Thiago, we're bringing on Fabinho. These are world-class players. They should grab hold of this game, and Benfica shouldn't get a sniff if this is the case. You know what I mean? I mentioned Fabinho coming on there for Henderson. Again, didn't really impose himself on the game. Gave him a 5. Sadio Mane comes on for Diaz, gave him a 6. Few nice moments and a couple of opportunities. Again, unlucky with the offsides and stuff like that. But putting himself about, lots of energy, gave himself a reasonable showing. And Divock came on. I didn't give Divock a rating. Came on from Firmino. I suppose with Divock coming on, look, we just give him a 10. Delighted that he's getting that deal at AC Milan, and I really look forward. I mean, normally I'm going to follow his career in Serie A next season. Really want to see how well he does. Really looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully getting game time and playing, and I think he'll do similar to what Tammy Abraham has done over there. He'll go over there, and if he's played, he'll score goals. So really looking forward to Divock playing in the Italian league next season. And who knows, knowing our luck, probably we went to the draw. We probably draw AC Milan in the group stage of the Champions League next season as well. And Divock could be coming to Anfield to play, and I'm sure he'd get a great reception. But this has been your Liverpool versus Benfica, match reaction and player ratings. We are through to the semi-final of the Champions League, so we can't be too disappointed. But I'm kind of just more disappointed in the manner in which we go about the game, and then the manner in which we go about our business, as opposed to the result. I think generally most of the night we were comfortable, but I don't like to see us conceding goals like that at home, um, regardless of who's in there. And I mean, let's be honest, that back line ain't a bad back line there. Gomez, Matip, Konate, Tomiskas, and Alison Becker. It's a decent back line, and it shouldn't be shipping 3 goals to Benfica. So we need to clear that out of our system now. Move on. We have a semi-final to look forward to on Saturday. Hopefully, we can beat Man City and move on to the final of the FA Cup. And let's see then what happens on Sunday with Crystal Palace and Chelsea. See if Palace can do a number on Chelsea, or will we be meeting Chelsea in the final potentially for the second time this season. Until next time, Reds, this has been your Shankly Sessions match reaction. Liverpool 3, Benfica 3, 6-4 on aggregate. Obviously, you can drop your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Am I right in thinking about how we go about our business? Am I wrong? Let me know. Always open to criticism. If you want to contact the show, we're on Twitter at Session Shankly. You'll get us on the upper tier podcast at gmail.com if you want to send in an email. Facebook and Instagram, the upper tier. And we're also on TikTok, the upper tier podcast. Till next time, we will be dropping a preview for the Man City game on Saturday. It should be going out either Thursday evening or Friday morning. So stay tuned for that. As always, head over to YouTube, the upper tier, and hit that bell notification so you get notified of all this great content that we're dropping. Cheers, Reds. Let's do this.